In this video, I will reveal you the best kept secrets that chefs never tell you. Now, after watching this video, you will understand why the food of some great chefs is just so much better than others.
Again and again, and there's another.
There is, I want you to think burger. Stuff is never really explained in a book. You can't look it up, you can't read about it, but this video will explain you everything. So first, let's ignore the quality of the ingredients for a moment. Also, let's ignore the styles of cooking methods. Instead, let's just focus on the basic of how a good chef, and from now on you, can decide how great the experience of a dish can be by applying a few little steps when creating dish. By ticking a few boxes, you will know straight away what's missing or what's too little or what's too much in a dish. Now firstly, try to tick all the boxes in terms of textures to cover the mouthfeel, to add emotions to your dish, Therefore, incorporate all or at least several textures like wet, crunchy, creamy, firm, soft, different levels. I'll teach you more about that in another video. In terms of flavor, try to also tick several or all boxes like salt, sweet, sour, hot, bitter, very important, and if so, umami. Now, once a great chef has ticked all the boxes in terms of textures and flavors, he will add the final touch, and that is the plating, so that you only have one option on how to eat that dish, and that's what I want to talk about it. He will give you no other option than his on how you eat his creation. I witnessed this many, many years ago by one of France's best chefs, but I will tell you the story a little bit later. I find that many times when going to restaurants, you get this sort of super designed plate, a really nice dish on it, but that can be a bit of a disaster in terms of eating the whole dish. Now, I need to add a little tantrum here because, food plating has changed a lot. You will agree on that. Because it's gone a bit like music, you had music before MTV and after. Before, we had people who just made great music. It didn't matter how they look, because that's all we could perceive. Now, when MTV came along, the music scene changed, where the visual aspect became far, far more important. The looks of the clothes, no clothes, the dancing and so on. It's all great stuff, but we ended sort of up with two groups of musicians. The ones who made great music and the ones who made great, amazing or provocative videos. Sometimes together, of course. I guess you can put that all down to evolution. Cooking, since the introduction of social media, also made that shift. And since we cannot smell and taste those edited social media food shots, we are often left to adore just the beauty of the food plating and the beautiful creations. And I admit they look stunning, but you have to wonder if they actually taste that amazing as a whole dish, as a complete dish, if you would eat it in a restaurant. So let's go back to the old meat and 3 veg, because I want to teach you something here today. Basically, putting food and ingredients next or away from each other, where the customer, your guest, is left to decide how she or he will eat that dish. Imagine it's eaten in a typical way. First the meat, it's a bit soaked up with the gravy, the mashed potatoes, then to the next, and left over the little vegetables. And overall, your customers, your guests might think, yeah, it was nice, but they're both gonna struggle. What's all the fuss about all these little things, So let's take the same dish and add some thought to it on how to plate it better, how to enhance the whole experience of textures and flavors, how to bring it together. That's what I want to show you here. And if you get that right, you can turn a dish basically instead of an old-fashioned cannon barrage. It just goes boom. Instead of it being disjointed. The formula is simple, so simple indeed that it is almost a joke. Really, it is. It's like wash, rinse, and repeat, and you can do that over and over and over and over again. The top chefs, apart from spending lots of time to include several matching textures and flavors, they put it together in a way that you as a customer have only only one option on how to eat that dish. You cannot eat it in any other way. You need to eat it the chef's way. So the steak, the mash and the veggies and the gravy would look as follows. Dollop of mash on the bottom of the plate, make a hole in it. Bit of gravy, steak on top of it, and the steak on the top with a mixture of finely cut vegetables or salads and herbs and a little drizzle of sauce around. Sure, there are variations to that, but that's the basic rinse, wash and repeat formula for plating food in the most amazing way. Now, when you eat that dish, you must start eating it from the top downwards and cut it that way. And with every little bite you take, you will have on your fork a little bit of the vegetables, a little bit of the steak, some of the mash, and everything will be drenched in sauce. So you go through a whole journey of eating that dish in exactly the way the chefs wanted it. Bingo. To show you what I mean, I want to show you some great examples here in this book, so just keep watching that with me. Sure, you can create smaller versions of that on a plate, like bite-sized versions of what I just explained to you, like what you see in molecular cooking with Chinese-style spoons, where little piles of flavors combined in a way that you have no other option than to eat it in one way, exactly the chef wants it. The waiter, of course, will place those items or food items or plate in front of you and will give you a little explanation on how to eat it, and that's even important. Now, if you design dishes like this and if you taste them, I promise you, if you do this to your dish every time, your dish will always taste great. But you will also find out if there's something missing in terms of textures or flavors or even temperatures, or something is too much or needs to be eliminated. When you taste the dish, it's rinse, wash and repeat this process with every one of your dishes. And I know you think now it cannot be that simple, but it is. You saw those images I just shown you, but it can lift your cooking onto the highest levels. It allows you to have a helicopter view over any dish without getting caught up on what's going on social media. You will end up with just great food every time without anyone ever understanding the hows and the whys. Now the key indeed is simplicity. And to back up what I just told you, I want to give you one example. Now I want you to think burger. It's a perfect stack. And you look at its success all over the world. You actually probably never thought about the secret. Now, when you get given a burger, you cannot eat that burger any other way than it is handed down to you. Now, imagine a burger being all served disjointed. That wouldn't be great. There wouldn't be anything special. Where did I learn now that secret? Well, years ago, one of my visits to France, I spent a week at the 2 Michelin star and 4 gourmet hat chef Champadé, and I learned this art there, and in its most impressive way. Now he plated a dish 7 different ways. Next to it had 7 different drawings on how he designed it before he put it on the plate, and great chefs do that. There were notes all over the place. There was the restaurant manager, the sommelier, the sous chef, and most important, of course, Champadé's wife. And they tasted and they discussed and they sipped suitable wines, and then they sort of got into a few arguments over the way the dish should be served and what wine goes best with it. In the end, none of those 7 creations he made seemed to win the race, so his wife sort of took over. He got a bit grumpy, he went back to the kitchen and came back with a newly version, which was a stacked up version of that dish. They tasted it with the wine and absolutely convinced in presentation, flow with the wine, garnishes, everyone was happy. And I learned the design of a great dish in a restaurant is often a real effort of a whole team and not one individual deciding on how it should be plated. So next time you design a dish for the ultimate eating experience, then think flavor, texture, temperature, flows, and do your guests a favor and decide for them how to eat that dish. So check out my video on how to match food with wine, and thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time.